Hello and welcome everyone to another round of reviews about solar dehydrators, Downdraft solar dehydrators to be specific. I've got a lot of enthusiasm lately to review plans that I've created like 5 years ago, and they've been selling on the digital market at permies.com/Davin. What's up, Finbear in the chat? So, I'm going to share my other screen with you. And we're going to watch a lot of videos that I created after generating the plans and getting feedback from people. I realized that there were 6 things I wanted to tell people. And so I created some individual videos, and we can just run through them. I need to share my screen. All right. Looks good. All right. So if you were to go to permies.com/Davin, you would get to this page where I've got all of the plans that I've created hyperlinked there and laid out here in this graphic. And then if it is that you wanted to sell one of these plans for me, like if you're in with a community or you drop links all the time in magazines or forums, click on one of the hyperlinks, and then that's an actual product, and then it says how much it is, and then these are the PDFs that are unlocked whenever you pay that fee. And then here's me answering questions about it. And then way down here, there is your affiliate link to this thread with a 10%. And so 10% of $30, that's $3. Some of the other plans have a better affiliate discount or affiliate, what is that, payout? Cut. Here, I'll go to the Missoula 1 model. That's a good seller. What do I have listed here as the affiliate cut? 40%. So that's 40% of $20. Awesome. So I've showed you that well enough. And then also, if it is that you have anything that you want to sell through the digital market at permies.com, look for these links here. Click on digital market. And this is what it looks like there. Paul Wheaton is the guy who runs this. Paul Wheaton has a YouTube channel. All right, so this is my YouTube channel. Davin Hoyt, please like and subscribe. Just click on my videos and see the chronological order. See the things that I like to do and the things that people have asked me to get busy with, you know? It's like your talents meet demand. So these ones that say edit number 1 through 6, those are the ones that I plan on us going through right now. So I've got the same intro to every one of them, and I apologize to whoever gets annoyed by it, but I'm trying to work out a pitch at this point of time in my life. Trying to get better with the camera and be more personable, and I just thought the same intro for each one of these would be appropriate. I don't even know how I edited this. My editing skills are even worse than they were back then. Gosh, my mouth is dry. It's really early in the morning over here. All right, let's roll with it. I think I have them in order, so let's do it. I hope that this video finds you well. My name is George. Hope if you for the Missoula, I get on my computer and I check out the 3D model, where I've got the Missoula 1 model. And notice this model, it's modeling plywood sides, not any sort of overlapping exterior materials. Not tongue and groove. Now, edit number 1 for the Missoula 1 model. Mouse is sticking, gosh. My computer's being silly. It's been brought to my attention that on the western side here, snow could build up. Yeah, that's kind of a shelf, and it's so low. And so possibly some block work that sheds. Yeah, some extra cuts of something. Maybe a piece of hardy board, because it's not going to interact with the rest of the solar dehydrator. So hardy board. If you were to shade that, it would be nice. But if you put a whole piece of board there, maybe something would try to live inside of it. Exterior portion, so that moisture or snow does not get in this area. You might be able to fill it full of mud. I recommend not leaving your solar dehydrator out during the winter. I recommend bringing it indoors. You would want to not allow that mud to take on any moisture, because that would ruin your plywood. This here is going to be interacting with the exit flow. So definitely caulk that area. Whatever you cover it with, caulk it, or just make it to where there's a good drip. Just slope one piece of wood, caulked well. A piece of flashing would do fine. I think Finn Bear's in the chat saying something. Finbear says fill it with foam. I say no. Finbear, are you telling me that... Oh, I don't have this full screen. Thank you. Use hardy board here. I would assume you would use hardy board here. In case you haven't seen this solar dehydrator. I'm going to make sure... Yeah. All right. Sorry for the extended show of Dolly. Dolly Parton's going to go backstage now and hang out with the band. The air enters here below. Now I'm just explaining how this thing works in case you've never seen it before. The air enters down here, gets heated on these surfaces that are suspended inside. This whole volume heats up. The air rises, right, in this triangular volume, and then it's pushed into the top of this cabinet, and then the new hot air replaces the old hot air that then sinks. And as it's sinking, it's taking moisture off of your food. And then in the back area here, there is a space at the bottom of this wall where air can escape into the cavity of the wall. And so the wall acts like a chimney as the air rises up and exits the top of the back wall. This is what I call a Missoula 1 model solar dehydrator. 2 of these units depth, right? And it enters the top, and it's extra. Put any sheathing up in this model or in the plans. Yeah, I guess just some flashing down here would be fine,
So if you allow
but it would be nice to
something moisture to build
shield
up here,
this cabinet so that it can
this would be a
stay
problem.
cool.
And so maybe this
Because
needs to be protected.
the hot air, everything's about air velocity. And so
very
if you have a
much.
cool cabinet that's dark,
Well, I hope that
then I think that would serve you best.
you
All right.
found this video informative, and I hope that you're
Look at
excited to
me.
take on this DIY project. Please consider liking this. Got more purchase.
Do not buy solar panels
Ooh, solar panels.
if you live in one of
I remember when I was filming that and I said DIY, DYI. I was saying DYI several times. And I was like, what am I saying?
Hi everyone. I hope that this.
I hope this finds you well.
Outside of the Missoula 1 model.
What are we gonna do?
We're outside of the Missoula 1 model. So the roof is here. We've got airflow coming into this chamber here. It gets heated up by the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It enters this chamber here, which I call the cabinet, and it heats.
Yeah, I call this the cabinet and this the solar collector.
See, it keeps heating, entering, right? The air is forced down, and it goes into this false wall in the back and exits out this. And then this is just a roof, like I said. So what I want to tell you about is how I failed to call out that this back wall and this floor should be coated in the same black coating recipes that are used here. And so whatever you...
On Permies.com, you can find the recipes that are food safe, that you can paint the interior of the space with and the surfaces.
Choose to coat this with, I recommend you do it.
See how if this thing is facing south, then we're kind of in the east or east of southeast. So we're staring at an open side of this volume. So some people would argue that it's not that important to have this surface transparent, but I believe that it is important, and that it's a part of your design to have such a large volume and so much space being heated, and having that large volume then be bottlenecked up into the top of the cabinet, because everything is about airflow, air velocity, get that air moving. It's a game of numbers. So just continue to flow drier air through your system, drier than the food that you're dehydrating, right? It just keeps running through, and the air picks up the moisture, drops it off, picks up the moisture, drops, or doesn't drop it off, it leaves with it. All right.
Do it to the back wall and to the floor, so the inside of that whole chamber, to heat that air. Erica Weisner has a post on Permies that is called out in these plans.
Erica Weisner. That's the
so she has
Hermes member
recipes to get this paint to place in this box if you so choose to go her all natural route.
I advise you do instead of spray paint.
Thinking about going solar?
Not right now. Thank you, though.
Hi everyone, I hope that this video finds you well. My name is in the 3D software.
Again, I'm Davin Hoyt on YouTube.
This is the roof. This is the door to the cabinet and the cabinet itself. And this is the solar collector. So this is the eastern side, this is the southern side. And when air enters this system, it enters through the floor here, through the bottom holes. And there's mesh over the top of that. And it heats up in here, the solar collector. And it exits the solar collector up here and enters the cabinet. And it's forced downward. And it goes to this back wall that is a false wall. And it exits the top of the back wall. And this is a roof.
And that air is not full, packed full of moisture. Instead, it just has a little bit more moisture. So it's just the continuation of flowing the air through the system that gradually takes the air out of your, or the moisture out of your food. So there's no actual condensation surface. Instead, the thing works like a machine, and if there is any moisture that's on after a rain or fog or something, that stuff gets cleaned up. It gets wicked out of the surfaces.
So what I'm wanting to point out is that it has been brought to my attention that this mesh would be better sandwiched between layers, between pieces of wood, not just placed up on top like this. This is a representation for a mesh layer so that critters can't get in here, and bugs and birds. The air exits there.
So this next edit is just that basically, like whenever you make the trays, then you'll have a squared off frame of wood, and then you'll lay the fabric over the top of that, and then you'll pin down a smaller piece of wood on top of that fabric all around the frame. And so that's what I'm suggesting here.
It's placed up on top like this.
When you have this hole, let's frame this hole and pin down that fabric. And the fabric's up there to keep the bugs and critters and birds, I guess.
So that critters can't get in here, and bugs and birds.
And if you have really small birds, something needs to happen about them landing up above.
The air exits there.
You know, you don't want their droppings going through the
air exits there.
And this needs through to be the netting, meshing.
And so I call out what mesh can be used.
So let's see. I call out in the plans what mesh you can buy. Now, this is pretty expensive mesh, and you can use this mesh for the trays that you're going to put the food on, as well as all the openings that you can guard, right, where the air flows through. So technically there would be 3 places where the air goes through. If you want to do it at the top of the cabinet and the top of the solar collector where it goes into the cabinet, you could do one there. You could do one at the very beginning where the air comes in at the bottom, and then at the very end where the air leaves at the top. And then all the trays. And so it's my understanding that you could purchase one roll of mesh and make 3 solar dehydrators out of it. So it might be a good idea to get your friends involved.
Which is in the plans and on the forums at permies.com. This sheathing or project solar dehydrator.
Ooh, look at that pause. Hi everyone, I hope that this video finds you well. Recently, I believe that I believe for doing Missoula 1 model waiting. Now I want to point out edit number 5. Oh, edit number 5.
Number 5
It's edit number 4.
is adding.
I was just about to say, I apologize for the quality of the videos, my wordings, whatever. At this time, or at that time in day, and this time now, everything that I'm doing is just a little bit below professional so that I can get it out to you. So I apologize, but at the same time, it's like, please, understand what a creator goes through. Let's get this stuff out to the world. Let's change the world. Felt strip between surfaces that are going to be joined together, say inside this exterior sheathing, up against this 2x4, or inside of this interior wall. I'm talking about sandwiching felt or wool
Between it and the 2x4 that's beyond it,
in order to have
and in a previous
good
video,
airtight seal.
in a previous video we talked about the weather stripping.
You'll need to do
walls,
caulking, weather stripping as well.
but
Along the door, do
felt
weather
could be
stripping.
used in this, in between these surfaces here.
That's
This is
interesting
all
that I say
to
felt, though.
increase the efficiency of your airflow.
See, I learned felt from the
because
guy
that's what
who
the solar dehydrator does.
built
is it
one of
flows
these
drier air
before I made the
fast
plans for it.
through the system.
So the way that I made these plans right here, I constructed this, it was reverse engineering from watching videos. So the guy who made the one that was in the video is a guy that turned me on to the idea of felting the certain areas in order to have a good seal between surfaces, but also use caulk. So this is what it was. Now it's sparked in my head. After a while, the caulking gives way. So the felt, whether it be the smashed wool or whatever it is, it does the job past just the small time period that caulking the surface would work, right? So use some glue, use less glue, I guess.
Rather than being extremely hot. It's all about air movement. Where do we have more surfaces? Do it at the bottom. Make this glass.
All right, let's go to the next one. Hi everyone, I hope that maybe this one's the weather strip because I think I got it confused in the last one.
Edit number 5 is
What is it?
adding felt strip between surfaces.
I thought I just did that.
Surfaces that are going to be joined together.
What happened here?
Side of,
Did I mess up my videos a long time ago and not even know it? I posted this one twice under the same name or different names. Right. Okay, so we know weather stripping at the door.
Hi everyone.
And the door is going to be the only area that moves. I witnessed a solar dehydrator the other day where the entire eastern wall came off, and I wasn't sure if I liked that. It was interesting because like the it was just a panel. It didn't have hinges, and what held it secure were like wedging pieces of wood, so it really held it tight. This design here is a boss, and that's why we're talking about felt and caulk and stuff like that. If it wasn't, then we could just be talking about some things hammered together, like I've seen on other places in YouTube. I'm really having fun with with analyzing solar dehydrators. Like I just Googled some wording and looked at images and was thinking, oh, I could critique these. These are fun because you can immediately see what type of solar dehydrator it is and how it works.
And
All right, so I showed the mesh.
in my hand.
That's
the
what
wire
that
mesh that I have called out.
actually a piece of the
It's
mesh.
in my
Ooh,
hand.
here it is.
A little sample of it that I called out and put on the forums. That is good for the trays for drying your food on, but it may not be small enough to keep
Is it small enough for bugs?
keep gnats out, to keep insects out.
It's right at like gnat body
So
size.
you may need a bug screen.
I think it's fine.
Much finer than this. But what I would recommend is to get both. Put both where the air exits. Put the harder one on the exterior, and
So I'm suggesting to get a finer
where the
mesh.
air enters. So in case you haven't seen this model before, this is the solar collector. This is the cabinet where your food dries. So the air warms in this chamber. It flows into this chamber and it is forced downward and it exits out the bottom of the back wall here.
We're watching
And
old
it goes
videos that
up
I made.
and exits the back wall there. And then this is a roof.
And Finbear is seeing them for the first
And
time.
so new air enters here. So this edit number 6 for the Missoula 1 model is to have smaller mesh
So an idea that I
smaller
had
mesh
just
that
now
can deter
is like,
insects.
our bird's gonna perch up on this beam
Because I believe that the mesh that is
and then
recommended right now
poop
will deter
on that mesh
wildlife.
down into the chimney. Sure hope not.
If sandwiched between layers, like we were talking about in a previous video.
Yeah, I think I covered it.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's me 5 years ago. All right. So, yeah, my YouTube channel is Davin Hoyt. I talk about solar dehydrators. Here we are live. And that's all I wanted to cover for right now. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Go check out my stuff at permies.com/Davin. Appreciate you.